When it comes to choosing the right attorney that will find you the best insurance coverage, it can be really hard to navigate. Also, there are insurance coverages that most people don't know about, and that's why we are joined by Colorado's best attorney to help us out. And, you know, I'm not going to go into all of your credentials today because then we'd be here for hours. It's a long list of credentials. Right. But you do teach attorneys, isn't that right?
I do. And the thing that I want to go into here, and like I was pointing out before we came in, we've got great stuff to go on, so please watch this. What we're going to do is, I teach this class called Personal Injury 101 to other attorneys, and it shows them where to look for insurance that a lot of attorneys don't even know about when someone's injured. So I'm going to stick around, watch this, and you're going to see what additional insurance is out there that you don't even know about.
Yeah. We were just mentioning this, you know, you're going to teach us what you teach these students who pay thousands of dollars. We get it free every Friday.
Right.
If you tune in, you're going to get all that information.
Well, that's our law school for the layperson.
Yes.
And even before we go into that, I want to talk about what you need to look for when you're hiring an attorney. Okay. And I have a great graphic for this, so let's just kind of go over this. First of all, I want people to look at, first of all, the most basic question, does the attorney practice in this area, number one?
Well, they have to be here, right? They have to be in this area.
Well, and when I say this area, I'm like, don't go to a trust and estate attorney if you have a personal injury claim.
Gotcha.
Or a contract attorney.
Gotcha.
The other one is look and see how many cases like this the attorneys have handled. And now that's a good and bad thing. Not only have they handled in the past, but how many do they handle right now?
So do you want them to have a heavy caseload right now?
You know, if they have 70 or more cases that they're handling, that's a lot. Watch out for that.
Okay.
Who are you going to be dealing with in their office? Also, how long do you have to wait before an attorney is going to call you back? And then if those attorneys don't return your calls in a certain amount of time, can you fire them?
I would.
Absolutely.
I think everybody has that right. You always tell me I can fire them, so that's what I would do.
Yeah, attorneys owe you a fiduciary duty, so it's really good. And let me tell you what else you need to do. I think don't just fall in love with one attorney. You go out and interview 3 attorneys. Let me tell you why. You can hire the greatest attorney on the planet, but if you can't communicate well with them, or you're dealing with their paralegal, man, everything gets lost in translation. You remember in kindergarten when you used to sit around?
Let me think back. Yep. Yes, I remember.
And one kid would whisper one thing in one ear and it would go all the way around, right? And it may start off with, the sky is blue. And it ends up with, hey, what are you having for lunch? So if there's not that level of communication, I don't care if it's the greatest attorney ever, get someone that you can communicate with, that you can talk to, get a hold of, because they are conveying your pains, your hurts, everything. And let me tell you, you know, a lot of people say, gee, do you do that at your firm? And I go, absolutely. Now, we feel that if you hire us as the attorneys, you get us, not the paralegals. You didn't come in to hire the paralegals.
No, we want Phil.
You want, right, you want to deal,
this guy.
You want to deal with the individual attorney. And so that's why, I mean, our voicemails are even set up. People on the nights or weekends push 0 and they're transferred to wherever we are. But, you know, if you handle a case properly, you don't get those nights and weekend calls, but we're already there.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
If somebody came in to interview you as, you know, their potential lawyer, would that offend you at all?
No, I would respect that.
Respect it.
And people are really, they're taken back when I say, I don't want you to hire me until you go and meet with 2 other attorneys. Because then when they come back to me, I know that they feel that comfort with me, all right? Now I want to talk about insurance companies, all right?
Let's transfer
and
to
insurance and so forth. Even though here in Colorado, it's required that everyone has auto insurance on their vehicles, really 1 in 7 people do not have any insurance. So let's talk about what I'm teaching. Remember what I teach other attorneys. Where to find, where to dig in and get additional insurance. Now, first of all, when someone injures you, you look at, hey, who's the owner of the car? They may have insurance. Who's the driver of the car? That may be additional insurance. And remember, you can stack all of these on top of each other. Now, do you have, everyone calls it UMUIM, stands for uninsured, underinsured motorist coverage. And now you can stack that on top. So if someone runs into you and they're either uninsured or underinsured, you have that insurance coverage to pay you. And I got to tell you, also look at, is anyone else in your house or your household or your permissive driver? And I know this is going fast, but it's so important. I got to tell you.
Other drivers, like other drivers in your house, have to have that UMUIM.
And if they have it, you can stack all of these. You may have 4 or 5 policies that you can stack on top of each other. And it's that important. And I got to tell you, Colorado law says that unless you signed a waiver with your insurance company, you have UMUIM.
What about MedPay? Because I've been listening to you. Do you have to have MedPay as well?
Fist bump. Nice
I know,
going.
I'm learning.
All right. So MedPay, yes. MedPay and UMUIM are automatically on your car unless you signed a waiver. And people come in and they say, I don't have MedPay, I don't have UMUIM. We call the insurance carrier and we say, produce the waiver that's supposed to be signed under Colorado law. And if they don't do it, we've got another $25,000 for the client.
Really?
Yeah.
You're so smart, Phil. So what else do we need to know about insurance and why, and we've already explained why UMUIM is so important, right?
Well, yeah, and here's one last thing. If you have your car insurance and either your renter's or your homeowner's insurance with the same insurance company, I want you to, first of all, I want to make sure that you have at least $100,000 of UMUIM. Next, I want you to call your agent and say, I want an umbrella on my car, on everything. And an umbrella adds $1 million more of coverage, $1 million more for maybe $200 or $300 more. But then also make sure you get a rider that adds that million onto the UMUIM. Because people that drive around with insurance, like our great viewers that watch, you don't need to worry about them. You need to worry about someone running into you and causing serious damage. Get that umbrella.
Thanks, Phil, for all of this free advice and education. It sounds like no matter what, you can help with anything. If you have a question for Phil, go to coloradosbest.tv and send those questions in. He will answer each question personally. And if you would like to contact Phil at his office, Harding & Associates, call 303-762-9500 or go to hlaw.org. Coming up on